Why you said that much distance? You come. You can come forward. Please come forward. Okay. In the last class, we have discussed about what? Recursion, right? What is meant by recursion? Recursion we have discussed, right? What is meant by recursion? When we will use recursion? When a problem can be solved in terms of same kind of sub-problem, then we will make use of recursion. What is meant by recursive function? If a function, what is meant by function first of all? Function is nothing but some set of statements which we wanted to repeat whenever we want. Try to understand the context here. What is meant by loop? Yes, what is meant by loop? Repeating set of statements. Like we are having the requirement that we wanted to print welcome for 10 times. Okay, welcome for 10 times. So first time we will print, second time we will print, third time, like this same statement. Okay, this is the statement to print welcome. Same statement we wanted to execute for how many number of times? 10 times. Then we will make use of loop. Okay, not only one statement, we can have several statements which we need to repeat. Let us say 4 statements we have. These 4 statements we wanted to repeat for 10 times continuously. Okay, in general, if you don't have loop, how many statements we need to write? How many lines we need to write? Try to understand. 4 lines we are having, 40. 4 lines we are having, 10 times we need to execute each line. Okay, those 4 lines, then again 4 lines we have to write the same 4 lines, like that 10 times, so 40 lines we need to write. Instead of that, if you put these 4 lines in a loop and if you maintain a counter which will repeat for 10 times, then we could able to reduce the lines of code. Okay, that is the utility of loop. Now there is a concept called function. What is the use of function is, we will be having set of statements, like again you consider 4 lines only. Okay, 4 lines of statements we are having. Those 4 lines we wanted to repeat 10 times, but not continuously. Try to understand the difference. We wanted to execute these 4 lines repeatedly, continuously, like 4 lines we will execute, after that again same 4 lines, again 4 lines, like that. All 40 lines, instead of writing 40 lines, we will be writing 4 lines and we will repeat in a loop. But here the requirement is a little different. What is it? 4 lines of 4 statements we wanted to repeat for 10 times, but not continuously. Continuously in the sense, but not continuously in the sense, let us give some name to this. Okay, let us say I am giving F. F is the name given to these 4 statements. Okay, I wanted to execute for the first time, so F. Next, I wanted to execute some other statements, okay, which is not related to this. Next again I wanted to execute these 4. Again I will execute some other statements, again I wanted to execute this. Okay, can we use loop in this context? Loop will not be applicable. Why? Because loop will be used whenever we wanted to execute set of statements repeatedly, continuously. Okay, but whereas a function means we will be storing the set of statements which we wanted to repeat under one name. Okay, we'll be giving one name to it, and whenever we want those statements to execute, we will call. Understand? So that is the use of function. Okay, such kind of function, one of the types of function is recursive function. Okay, recursive function. What is the speciality of this recursive function? What is the speciality of this recursive function? We will be function in the sense we will be having set of statements we have discussed, right? So set of statements. In these statements, we will be calling we will be having a function call to itself. Okay, then it is called recursive function. Okay, before giving this, I can give another example. Like we have seen an example like roots of a quadratic equation. In that, we made use of square root. Square root we have to use, right? Square root of b square minus 4ac, that we have to calculate. So square root. Let us assume sqrt is the function which is available. Sqrt is the function which is available. So whenever we wanted to find square root of something, we will make a function call to this. Okay, what is the functionality of square root? Whatever the number we will give, for that number square root will be given. That's it. That is the functionality. So there will exist some statements inside this square root, isn't it? Like these, some statements will exist in this square root. Whenever we want square root, then we are invoking, isn't it? Then only we are calling. Similar to this, f is the name. Similar to sqrt, we are giving the name as f. Whenever we want, we are calling. Okay, that is normal function. But if you consider factorial of n, in this we will make a function call to itself, that is fact of n minus 1. So here this fact is nothing but function call, isn't it? Fact of n minus 1 means fact is the function name. So we are making a function call to itself. Such kind of function we call it as recursive function. Is it clear? Yeah. Now let us start specific to Python. Okay, specific to Python. Are there anyone who are familiar with C or C++? No one is familiar with C or C++. Okay. If you are familiar, then I will touch that also. Like whenever I tell something in Python, I will try to link to C, so that you could able to relate easily. Is there anyone who is having awareness about C? No? Okay. I told you to remind this, right? Yeah. Let us consider a simple program which we have seen earlier. From now onwards, in general, if I draw like this you assume as program. Okay. We will be giving the input and we will be getting the output. Okay. Until this time, what we have considered, this one as the computer. Okay. But now you consider this one as the program. Okay. For this program, we will be giving input and we will be getting output. Okay. Before starting any program, what is the approach you need to follow? I have mentioned this earlier. Anyone? What is the approach? First of all, we have to identify how many inputs we have to give. Okay, that is the first question we have to pose to ourselves. Okay, before starting any program, so that this approach will give you some sort of confidence. Okay, easily you could able to take the problem complexity into lower level. Okay, that is the advantage. How many inputs we have to give? That is the first question. After saying that, after knowing that, what are those inputs? That also, what are those inputs, in the sense, although it seems both the questions as same, okay, I will tell you the difference. How many inputs and what are those? Next, third question is how many outputs? Okay, this is the third question, and the fourth question will be obviously what are those? Next, fifth question is how we can convert input into output. Okay, now consider simple addition of two numbers. Okay, addition of two numbers. Now you answer all these questions. Addition of two numbers. What is the first question answer? 2. What's the second question answer? Any two numbers. What are those in the sense? Variables. Any other? 1 and 2 somebody told. 1 and 1 somebody told. Some numbers. Okay, those numbers where we will be storing. How we will refer those numbers. Okay, those you have to specify. Like in general, A comma B. Next, third question answer. How many outputs? Addition of two numbers will be getting one output. So 1. Next, fourth question answer. Fourth question answer. Output C or some variable. Okay, some name. Okay, let us consider C. Next, how we can convert? This is the question. Actually, these 4 questions you could able to answer with little effort. Okay, not for small programs, even for complex programs also. These 4 you could able to get it with a little effort. But how we can convert this input into output? This is the actual question, isn't it? So now, in order to solve this particular question, what was the approach we are following from last so many classes? What is the approach? Approach is, anybody? What is the approach is, we have to take sample inputs, sample outputs. Okay, for most of the problems we could able to say if this is the input, this is the output. Like addition of two numbers only you consider. 2 and 3 if I give, output is 5. 5 and 5 if I give, output is 10. Like that we could able to say. Suppose roots of a quadratic equation. I will be giving what is A, what is B, what is C. That means vertical ax square plus bx plus c equal to 0, right? In that a, b, c values I will be giving. Then you could able to say what are the roots by calculating, by performing some computation you could able to say. So how you are obtaining manually, that if you analyze by taking some sample inputs and outputs, then you will identify the pattern. Try to understand here. If you take sample input and sample outputs, then how we are getting the sample outputs? Without program only we could able to give, right, that the sample output 5 and 5 if I give as input for this program, then what is the output? 10. Without program only you could able to say, right? How you are able to say that? If you analyze, then you will get the logic. Understand? From now onwards, of course, from initial class onwards, my concentration is to inject that logic. Okay, you cannot learn the logic, you can learn how to build the logic. Okay, that should be your motive in every problem. Even though the solution is known to you, even though the program is given to you, what should be your approach is how you could able to get the logic from that given inputs and outputs combination. Okay, that should be your approach. Then only you could able to survive. Yeah. So now, how in this simple thing, converting input into output, simply we will make use of plus, isn't it? So we will use plus a plus b, we will do, and that we have to assign to C. For that we will use assignment operator, isn't it? Assignment operator. How we will denote assignment operator? Equal to. So C is equal to a plus b, equal to is the assignment operator. That's it. This is simple program. Now, how we can write this one in Python? How we can write the program? How we can build is, first of all we have to take these two inputs, isn't it? Okay. To take the input, we are having the function called input. Input is the function. What is meant by function? I have introduced it to you. What is meant by function? set of statements we will be having. Whenever we want such kind of functionality, we will invoke, we will call that particular function. Understand? Suppose in your home you will be having so many electronic appliances. Okay, whenever you wanted to wash clothes, then you will use the functionality of washing machine. Okay, whenever you wanted to grind something, you will use the grinder or mixture, isn't it? Similarly, that functionality, you know it. Okay, that is already defined. So input function functionality is it could able to get the value. Okay, it could able to take the input from the user. Got it? So whenever we wanted to take something from the user, from the keyboard, okay, by using keyboard, then we can use input function. Okay, what should be provided? Remember one more thing, whenever we have this one, what we call this? What we call this? Parenthesis. Parenthesis. Okay, whenever we have parenthesis followed by some name, that we can identify as a function. That is the clue. Whenever parentheses are followed by some name followed by parenthesis, then we can say that one as the function. Clear? So now if you consider input, then parenthesis, it is a function. Directly we could able to say. Even earlier also fact of and how we can how we have denoted like this, right? Here also we are having parenthesis. Square root of sqrt of parenthesis, isn't it? So whenever we have parenthesis, then that we will identify as function. Clear? So now parenthesis. Why we are having these parenthesis? That's the question. Why we are having to only to distinguish that as the function? No, there is some purpose associated with it. What is it? Is suppose you consider square root. This is more nearer to your intuition. That's why I am choosing this. Yeah, here I will be having n, let us say. Then whenever I wanted to use this square root function to calculate square root of 9, then what we will be providing? 9 we will be providing as the value of n, isn't it? 9 we will be providing as the value of n. Then in the definition of square root, this n only we will be having. Understand? It is like I will be giving one example. You went to bank. There you wanted to withdraw some money from your account. Then what you will do? You went to bank and you wanted to withdraw money. So let us say 5,000 you wanted to withdraw from your bank account. What you will do after going to bank? You will insert card. That is ATM, right? You will fill the form, right? In the form, what we will be having like this, we will be having a form. Then debit from which account? Account number will be there, and how much amount you wanted to withdraw, and your signature. Here will be having date. That's it, right? In general, account number, what's the amount, and signature, date, of course. Okay, these are the 4 fields. Any other? Yeah, any other? You can participate. There is nothing wrong. I am not expecting everything to be known to you, right? And everything known to me also. I am not expecting that also. Okay, so you keep that one in mind and participate. Yeah. So now these are the 4. These 4 fields we will be entering. Where we will enter? Why we will enter only these 4? Why we will enter these 4 means only those 4 fields we need to fill in this form. Those only will be specified, so we can give. Similarly, here also, and what is the functionality of this form? What is the functionality? This is withdrawal form. What is the functionality? It will withdraw the money. Okay, whatever the clerk or some processing employee will take that, and he will access the fields. Okay, what is the account number, what is the amount, all these things he will access. Okay, what is the functionality he will be having in his mind? What is the functionality he will be having in his mind? Whatever the number he will be getting, okay, that number account, from that account he has to debit that particular amount, specified amount. This is the functionality fixed already. Just we are giving the values, automatically that functionality will be executed. Is it resemble to the whatever the functionality we are expecting here? Yes or no? Square root functionality already defined. Whatever the number we will give, based upon that, n value will be substituted there and okay. In every instance where we are having n in the definition of square, this 9 will be substituted. Okay. Afterwards, the square root of 16 if you call, then 16 will be substituted in every instance, isn't it? Similar to that, here also same thing. Yeah. Now input, then we will be providing something. Okay. Not only n, we can give any type of argument, any type of argument, any type of value. As of now, you remember it as value. So here what we will be having is, we can give some text. That means enter one value, enter two values, or enter number, enter string, enter a character. Like that, we will be giving the input. We will be giving some what you call information to the user. Like I have explained you on the other day. You consider checking for train availability. Then you will be asked to select source station, destination station, isn't it? So select source station. Okay, source station is the select source station is the input. Whatever the message that we will be providing here. Enter a number. Enter a number is nothing but the message that we are information that we are providing to the user who will be entering. Understand? So this is the syntax of taking the input from the user. After taking the input, where we have to store? That's the question. Okay, that we have already answered here. What is it? First input we have to store in. First input we have to store in A. Second input we have to store in B. So first input A is equal to this one. Input of enter first number. That message we will write. Okay. So what is this operator called? Assignment operator. We have discussed, right? Equal to is the assignment operator. So assignment operator. What will be assigned? Right side one will be evaluated. After that, that result will be assigned to left side. So now input, this one will be executed. Understand? So enter a number that will be displayed. After that, user will enter some value that will be taken, that will be assigned to A. Okay. How many inputs we want? How many inputs? 2 inputs. So again we have to call. Again we have to call. B is equal to input, enter second number. Okay. Enter second number. Then we will be getting required inputs. After that, how we will get the output? C is equal to A plus B we will be writing. C is equal to A plus B. Then we will be getting the result. But that we have to display. How we can display? By using the function called print. By using the function called print. Here we can specify the result is in C, right? C we can specify. Print is function again, like input, this is a function. Print is also a function. We are having parentheses, isn't it? Yes. So by using this, we could able to write that program. Now, can you able to complete the program? Write a program, write a Python program to perform addition of 2 numbers. Write down. Write a Python program, perform, write down the question. What is the use of parenthesis? Python program to perform addition of 2 numbers. How many of you have noted this? Okay. How many of you are from CSC or data science? CSC or data science? Both, anything is fine. How many of you are neither of CSC or data science? Okay. You are from EC. Okay. Remember, at the end of final year, everyone will be expecting some employment, isn't it? For that only we are putting lot of investment. Investment in the sense not only in terms of money, in terms of time. So at the end of final year, if you realize that I would have done like this, means there won't be any use. You cannot invest money, you cannot invest time as well. Okay, that you keep in mind. Accordingly, you act. Generally, I will say one thing. Generally, at the end of final year, most of the students will realize that if they have some coding skills, then they could able to get the employment. Due to lack of coding skills only, we could not able to survive. That's what most of the people will feel, whoever not placed. Okay, what is the basic problem is attentiveness in basic classes, like computer programming is basic subject. Okay, you don't know what is computer, what is programming language, what is program. All these things are being introduced now, and you should practice on this. Okay, it is not mathematics class or any other class where I will be writing something, you will be noting, and I will give time to note everything. This will not happen. Okay, that should not happen also. That you keep in mind. Everything, whatever you feel it is useful, immediately you should note down. Okay. No, I am saying you this almost in every class. This is your responsibility. Nobody will come behind you to check. That is not my duty. My duty is to deliver you. If you cannot able to follow, I will come to the next one level lower to it, and I will explain. If that is also not sufficient, I will come one more level lower to it. But I cannot come and check whether you have written or not, whether your writing is good or not. These all are your responsibilities, that you keep in mind. See, without writing this also, I could tell, I have already told these things earlier, but why I have written is, if I write, then you will get some time to note down. You will realize we also can able to note down. That's why I have written. But you people are not able to sense that also. You please keep this these all points in mind. Next time I will not tell in this pace. That time we don't hurt yourself. Yeah. So, how many of you completed writing that program? What is the first line that we have to write? A is equal to, we have to take input, right? A is equal to input, enter first number. Next. Yeah, next B is equal to same, right? Input to enter second number. Next, we have to add both the numbers and we have to assign to C. So C is equal to A plus B. So we have to add both the numbers and we have to assign to C. That you keep in mind. Okay. Next, print C. So print C. Clear? So this is simple program to perform addition of two numbers. Now you write the program to get this particular value. Yeah, a square minus bc you have to find out. For that you write the program. Write a program to find value of a square minus bc. No. What is the what you are expecting out of it? Input of a plus b in the sense. And one more thing, input of whatever you will put here, that will be printed. Okay, in general, you should enclose in double quotes.
So we are using double inverted commas in input function, right? Then why don't we use in print function?
Yeah. Here I have mentioned you earlier, whenever we enclose anything in double quotes, what we call that? It's a string, isn't it? Okay, anything if you enclose in double quotes, that we will consider as string. In general, if you enclose anything in single quotes, that we will consider as a character. What is meant by string and what is meant by character is, string is nothing but collection of characters. Collection of characters. That is, intuitively you can relate these two. Single quotes means character. Character in the sense capital A can be the character. Small a can also be a character. 1 also can be a character. That you keep in mind. Whenever you enclose 1 within single quote, that also can be considered as a character. That is not a digit. That you keep in mind. Okay. Next, similar to this, if you enclose 12 in double quotes, what does it mean? String. Okay, it is not 12 actually. 12 is string. 12 is considered to be a string. That is, 1 is the character, 2 is the character, and we are appending these two. Okay. Next, input is the function which will take string. It means this particular string will be displayed in order to give some information to the user. Suppose if you don't have enter number means, okay, we what you call, we have to enter number like that, user will try to understand. Got it? Suppose if you specify enter your name, then user will get the information that he has to enter name. Okay, enter password means he will be getting that information from it. Okay. Now the question is, here we are using double quotes. It is a function and we are giving, it is a function, right? Parenthesis, within parenthesis we are having. So it is a function. We have used double quotes. Print is also a function, isn't it? Here we are not using double quotes. What does it mean? Is it depends upon whatever the type of input that function is expecting to provide a required functionality. Like I have mentioned you two things, right? Naively, if I have to say washing machine is there, that is the input, clothes. Okay, mixer is there, what is the input? Not clothes, right? Understand? So depending upon whatever the input it is expecting, we have to provide that function. What kind of input it is providing, that kind of input we have to provide. Similarly here also. So now print is expecting some value, so we are providing here. Okay, we can display strings as well. Okay, print is used to print whatever we have given. Okay, here we want, why we haven't used double quotes here is just you can understand from this. What will be the output? What will be the output of this? What will be the output of this? Got the difference? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, completed this one. A square minus BC. Yes. A square minus BC. What are the inputs. How many inputs? 3. What are those? A, B, C. Then D is equal to how we will write A square minus BC? D is equal to A into A minus B into C. Then print D. That's it. Okay, complete it. This one you have to write this. Okay, and BC will not evaluate. B into C you have to write. Remember, whenever we write A is equal to B, what does it mean? B value will be assigned to A. Okay. Similarly, here D is equal to A square minus BC. Okay. This will be evaluated. This will be assigned to A. Always right side one will be assigned to left side operand. Okay. That you keep in mind. In general, in mathematics, we will be solving, and we will, whatever the value we will get, that we will write here, isn't it? But it is not like that. It is in reverse. Assignment operator will assign right side value. After computing the right side value, it will assign to left side operand. Okay. Yeah. Is this completed? A square minus BC. Yes. Now you consider one employee is there. Okay, an employee is there. If this employee has worked for more than 5 years, okay, then he will get bonus as 5,000. Okay, if he worked less than 5 years, okay, less than or equal to 5 years, then he will be getting 2,000 bonus. Okay, and he is having the salary like you consider 15,000 is the salary. 15,000 is the salary, and you have to display what will be the it is increment. You consider what's the difference between increment and bonus? Bonus means it is one time. Okay, one time we will get. Okay, increment means it will increase the salary. Yeah. Now you consider this as the increment. More than 5 years means 5,000. Next less than or equal to 5 years means 2,000. Okay. Now you have to display what will be the salary of the employee. Okay. So what will be the input? This is the program. Okay. What we should take as the input? First of all, salary we have to take. Yeah. So two inputs, right? One is salary. Experience. Yeah. Experience. How much? What is the service period? Okay. That we have to take. Then we should get output as one output. What is it? Updated salary, isn't it? Updated salary. Now, in order to do this one, can you able to write the program? Write a program to increment this to display the updated salary according to experience. Don't expect second time I will write. First time whenever I told, immediately you should follow. Write a program to display the updated salary based upon experience. Yeah, what is the input? We have seen already. Salary and the experience. These two will be the input. Write down those two statements. First, salary equal to input of 15,000. Input of enter salary. Okay, that message you have to write. This is example, sample inputs. Input of enter salary. Then second statement, experience equal to input of enter experience. Yeah. Next. Earlier in previous two examples where we have seen C is equal to A plus B. Yeah. C is equal to A plus B means A value we have taken, B value we have taken, C is equal to A plus B, then we have displayed C. Okay, next A square minus BC. A value, B value, C value, then B is equal to B square minus AC, then B value we have displayed. Okay, first we have executed this statement, then this second, third, fourth, fifth. First, second, third, fourth. Okay, but here first, second, then we will be having statements like salary we have to calculate as salary plus experience, increment, salary plus increment. Okay, in other way, salary plus salary is equal to salary plus no, both are increments only. Okay, both are increments only. So now salary plus increment, that is 2000. Okay, first statement, then second statement. After this, let us say this is third statement. Okay, next fourth statement. If you execute in this way, what will happen? 1, 2, 3, 4, then salary will be incremented by 7,000, isn't it? Got it? But what we have to execute, either of these two we have to execute, either this one or this one. So in order to do conditional processing, like based upon the condition, we will execute either this or this. Okay, for that we are having the statement called if. Okay, if, then we can specify the condition. So if is the statement, then what's the condition? Experience. Yeah, experience. If experience above 5, that means we will use the operator called greater than. Okay, greater than 5, then we have to execute this, right? Next, suppose if this condition is failed, then we need to check for the next one. Obviously it is less than or equal to 5, right? If it is not greater than 5, it is less than or equal to 5 only. So what we can say is we can make use of else. Okay, and here you remember, you understand, if we are writing else, we are writing, and this here experience and yes, these all are aligned, isn't it? Try to understand, this is important point. These all are aligned. Okay, but this is indented. This is called indentation actually. Indent in the sense some space, whatever we are giving. Okay, that is indent. So it is indented. Next, here also it is indented, isn't it? And these two are aligned. Yes or no? Okay. So why we are having this kind of thing is, under if this particular one is true, okay, if this is true, then what are the statements under this? How we can identify is based upon this indentation. Okay, based upon this indentation only we will be identifying what are the statements under that. Okay, so and in the syntax we will be having colon. If expression experience greater than 5, okay, if it is true, then we will execute this. Got it? Next, else we will execute this. Okay, we will be having colons to specify. It is like for side heading we will put right like that kind of thing, just for understanding. Yeah, next after calculating salary, what we should do? Huh? Print it, right? So where we have to write? First one. Why? Because it is not part of the else. It is independent of if and else. So here we will write print print salary. Updated salary, of course, we have used here yes, here we have used salary. You can use the same yes as well. Okay, there is no restriction to use another variable. You can use same. Clear? Any doubts? That is not required. Else in the sense, whenever that if statement is failed, automatically else will be executed. Okay, we no need to check the condition. You should write in this. No. That arrows and all just to understand, not to write. Okay, this is to understand the indentation. Clear? Yeah. Okay. So I have mentioned I have drawn line, right? Why I have drawn line? In the same indentation, same line you have to write. Okay, this is not like in childhood you will be asked to put margin and you have to write accordingly. Not like that, not for that kind of purpose. Okay, why I am insisting you to follow the thing is, that is the only indication compiler will follow. Okay, if you write this if here and else somewhere else, if you start from here, suppose else, then it will give error that whatever you have written, that is wrong. You cannot identify, you cannot find any fault directly by seeing, but because of this indentation, it could not able to understand. Try to understand the why this is required is, whatever we are saying, computer could able to understand. Okay, that's why we should able to say whatever computer could able to understand. Got it? That's why we need to follow this alignment properly. Based upon this alignment only, these all statements will be vertical segregated. Like if then we are using indentation, okay, one indent, so that it is part of the if. Here also we are using it is part of the indent. Okay. Now you write a program. Write a program to print given 3 numbers in ascending order. To print given 3 numbers in ascending order. Again, questions, refer questions, just 4 or 5 times if you refer first questions. What is the first question? How many inputs? How many inputs? 3 inputs. What are those inputs? A, B, C. Next, how many outputs? How many outputs? 3 outputs. What are those? What are those? If those are ABC, then you need not do anything. Just you can display it after taking, isn't it? Those two should be different. What are those? In ascending order, so let us consider in ascending order, we will be having, in ascending order means first number will be minimum. Next, second minimum. Then As we are having only 3 numbers, it will be the maximum. So minimum, second minimum, that is minimum 2 we can say. Next maximum. Got it? So these 3 will be the outputs. Inputs will be ABC, outputs will be minimum, minimum to maximum. Okay. Now how we can convert input into output? For that, what is the approach we have to follow? We have to take some sample inputs, then you try to get the output. So sample inputs, input, let us say I will be giving 2, 3, 1, then output. -1, this can be 5, 1, 5. Okay, like this, if you take several inputs and outputs combination, then you can analyze how we have written this one. Out of these 3, which one is minimum, that we have to write. Next, second minimum. How we can get second minimum from these 3? Second minimum. If you know the first minimum, then excluding that, remaining 2 you have to compare, isn't it? That is the logic you should identify from these. Then only it is useful. Understand? So now let us consider these as A, B, C. Now how we can get first minimum? Minimum how we can get? A, B, C values will be given to you. What is the minimum one? Or before going to see that, just you have to display minimum of the given 3 numbers. Write a program. Write a program. Write a program to print minimum of the given 3 numbers. Minimum of the given 3 numbers. So input will be 3 numbers A, B, C. Next output will be minimum. That's it. Okay, only one output, that is minimum. So how we can get minimum value? As of now, we don't know what is minimum. So input we will be taking A is equal to, B is equal to, C is equal to, that you know already, right? Next, how we can get minimum? By comparing one number with other 2. So let us compare A with B, C. Okay, how we can compare is A with B we will compare. Okay, or you can analyze here in one way, like A, B, C we are having. Okay, output will be minimum. Okay, this minimum can be either A or B or C. Either A or B or C. What is the possibility to get A? What is the possibility? Possibility, not probability. Possibility. When A will be the minimum? If A is less than B, and if A is less than C as well, isn't it? So both the conditions, if it satisfies, then only minimum will be A. Okay, so now same thing we will be applying here. If A is less than B, can we able to conclude minimum as A? No. One more condition. So that condition, so if A is less than B, we have to check another condition, right? So whenever it is true, try to understand, whenever it is true, we have to check another condition. So we have to write whatever the statements under this by giving some indent. So we will be writing from here. If what is the condition? A less than C. Then again colon. Then if this is true, then only it will be checked. If this is also true, then minimum is A. So where we have to write minimum? Equal to A. One more indent we have to give, isn't it? Why? Because it is under this. So minimum equal to A. Okay. Next, if A is not less than C, then else. Where we have to put else? Here or here? This second. Second, if you put else, then Else, compare B and C. See here, A is less than B in the sense B is not at all. B is not at all minimum, isn't it? B is not minimum. Either A or C will be the minimum. That's for sure. That you can analyze. That you can understand from here. So whenever B is not minimum, either A or C, and here we are checking A less than C. If it is true, A is minimum. If this is false, then A is greater than C in the sense C will be the minimum, isn't it? So what we can say here? Minimum equal to C. Okay. Now we have got these two. Next, if this condition itself failed, then else, else. For the first one, else. Else, A is less than B is false. That means A is not the minimum. Either B or C will be minimum. So we should compare. If B is less than C, then minimum equal to B. Else minimum equal to C. Got it? Next, finally, we have to print. That's it. That is the output. Clear? Okay, based upon this, by using whatever the logic we have discussed here, you try to write the program for the previous one. That is, in ascending order, you have to write 3 numbers. What will be the input? Input will be ABC only. Next, after taking ABC, what should be the condition? Minimum, minimum to maximum. These 3 we have to get. How we can get? Okay, same. How? If A is less than B. If A is less than B, then if A is less than C, minimum equal to A. Minimum to maximum. Okay, let us consider this as minimum 1. Okay, minimum 1 is A. Minimum 2. If B is less than C, again we have to check, right? So how we can find? Did you observe the difficulty here? It is not as simple as this, because here we have to find only the minimum, but here we need to find minimum and maximum. Okay, for this I will give the clue. You should complete it by next class. Just same program. Okay, same intention is same. That is finding the minimum. I will be changing like this. Whenever minimum is A, these 2 conditions should be satisfied, isn't it? So if A is less than B, okay, and one more condition, A is less than C. Okay, these 2 we must satisfy in order to say minimum equal to A. Okay, for that we will be using the connective called AND. Okay, AND A less than B and A less than C, then minimum is A. Next, another possibility is minimum equal to B. When B will be minimum, B is less than, if less than A, okay, less than A and B is less than C, then next minimum is C. When minimum will be C, C is less than A, C is less than B, then we will be getting straight. Okay, and you can optimize it further like A less than B and A less than C. If one of these conditions failed, if both are true, then what we can say? A is minimum. If one of these is failed, then what we can conclude? A is not minimum. If A is not minimum, what can be the minimum? B or C. Can we need to compare B with A? Try to understand the logic here. If this is failed, automatically B or C will be minimum. So, if you write like this, independently these all will be checked. Okay, but according to this, we have to connect to, like based upon the outcome only we have to check, means we will be having one convention called else if. Okay, ELIF means else if. Okay, if that is not true, then only you check this. Then here we have to specify the condition. What's the condition? B or C we have to check. So here else if B less than C, then minimum is B. If B is also not minimum, then definitely C will be the minimum. There we no need to check any condition. So else minimum is C. Like that we can write. Okay, you note down this and write by using else if as well. Okay, I just afterwards you write that ascending order program. Okay, I will ask you in the next class. Yeah, online people, if you have any doubt you can ask. Please enter your roll number.